Yo, what's up, everybody? I thank y'all for tuning in. Man, we're back from the All-Star break. Y'all are listening to the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK, the Dubon Fan Club president, Mr. Chris Moreno, and Sweet B Bones, Mr. Bryles in, rocking the late 90s Astros gear. It's always a winner. It's always a winner.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No,
But yeah.
It is.
Fellas, how y'all doing? How was your break for some baseball? We had the All-Star game last night. We had the embarrassment of Jazz Chisholm doing the home run derby on Monday. But other than that, guys, how's y'all's week been?
Man, it's been pretty good. I mean, actually watched, I think for the first time in a while, I actually watched the whole entire first round of the home run derby. It was kind of crappy to see James Wood go out in the first round. But it was hilarious to see Jazz Chisholm go up there and literally look like that hitting coach from Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I know that Hader didn't pitch. So, besides that, man, it's good to bring on the second half of baseball, man. I'm excited, and we're getting real close to my even more favorite part of the year, trade deadline time. So, I'm doing great. Rouse, how are you doing?
Good, man. This is always one of my favorite times because I love watching the home run derby. I love the All-Star game. Back when I lived in Arizona, we even did All-Star game parties. That's what happens when you get a bunch of restaurant people together because they've all got Monday, Tuesday off. So anyway, but no, it was great. The only problem I had was yesterday and today. I mean, I'm used to at least one day off of Astros baseball, but with this much off, I'm just like Ricky Bobby. It's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like, so it was interesting. No Astros made it into the All-Star game. So I guess I'm okay with that. But anyway, other than that, that was really about it. It's pretty lackluster, short of, like we said, the two MLB baseball events. And we had the draft too, obviously, which continued past our last broadcast. So that was kind of cool to catch up on. But anyway, PK, how about you, buddy?
A lot of the same, like a lot of the same. I mean, Wednesday after the All-Star game is the slowest day for sports in America. There is nothing going on the Wednesday after the All-Star game.
Although I watched Seinfeld.
I watched clips of Shane Gillis just murder at the ESPYs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's so good. Like, he's so good. So I watched a lot of clips of that. But yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready for second half baseball. Chris, you nailed it. We got 2 weeks before the trade deadline. This is always a pretty exciting time of the season, right? To see, obviously see that what moves your team's going to make to kind of, boot or shore up their roster for the postseason, kind of see who's really buying, who's selling throughout the league. We'll get into a little hypothetical thing that Chris wanted to bring up tonight, but we want to just kind of we want to review, the first half of this season. Just kind of hit some highs, hit some lows. We've got, I went back and right before this, I was, being learned on how to, find, where we were in the standings, at date X, so I went back, since June 3rd, Tuesday, June 3rd, that was the first time. That was when we were half a game up on Seattle. And from then on, we know how it went. The whole month of June, we just, went on that run. We had 13 straight series without a loss, right? Extended the lead. We're up to what I think 5.5 right now going into the series this weekend. A little stumbling block like we all, we talked about last week with Cleveland series. And then, I'm drawing a blank. Who did we finish with?
The Rangers.
The Rangers. Yes. Stumbling into the All-Star break, we talked about how much we needed the break. And Bryles, to your point, no Astros went into the All-Star game, actually played. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I am
can't
too.
get hurt. Can't get hurt if you can't play, if you don't play.
Right? Exactly. It's what I was just about to say.
So I'm good with that. Let's get ready. We got a lot of stuff to get into. So, Chris, you want to start us off with, let's do this first half review. What are the things that stood out the most to you?
Well, I mean, so to me, obviously, I think it's the main thing that kind of stuck out to everybody was all the damn injuries that this team went through this entire first half of the season. And to look at the record, I mean, the Astros are 56-40, 5-game lead over Seattle. And you're doing that with essentially 4 guys and a bunch of quadruple A players. It's kind of been amazing to watch this whole entire first half. Like, I mean, we knew we had some guys going into the season that it was going to be a minute before we saw them again. Guys like Christian Javier, Luis Garcia. Then like the big news hit about Blanco, and that was just like, oh man, because then it was like, okay, and then it was Spencer Arrighetti that went down. So now it was like, okay, well, who's going to man this rotation? And then we had, we saw guys, we saw Blue Ball come up for one start. We saw Colton Gordon come up. Brandon Walters pitched fantastic. McCullers has been up and down, but I mean, like then the injury bug hit the offensive side of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I mean, it got so bad where, I mean, even our guys that we called up from AAA are getting hurt. Brandon Rogers getting hurt, Guillorme's hurt, Chaz, I think
Melton's hurt.
Yeah, Melton's hurt. I mean, like, if this was football, we're like on our fourth or fifth string outfield, and we're on our fifth or sixth string second baseman. And Pena's hurt. So it's just it's pretty crazy to think of, like, you see all these injuries. I mean, I think I counted last time I even dare counted, there was like 16 or 17 players on our 40-man roster that are hurt right now. So the fact that we've still maintained a 5-game lead going into the second half, it kind of blows my mind, and it really sets up, pretty. I mean, it's always good to beat your division rival, but again, like if you can go into this series against Seattle, and we'll get into the Seattle series, but again, you're putting more distance between us and Seattle. Yeah, I mean that the biggest takeaway for me is how this team overcame the plethora of injuries. Bryles, what was your biggest takeaway?
I mean, it's pretty close to that. I'm going to rewind it all the way back to opening day, and everybody was more than happy to jump on us and say, "Oh man, Astros aren't going to be anything this year. They don't have Tucker. They don't have Bregman. They got rid of half their team. All their pitchers are injured. They got Altuve playing left field. This is going to be a disaster." And you know what? We came out and we started slow, like we have the last few years. But after that, caught fire. And then just like everybody found out, the West still runs through Houston. We've still got that lead. And just like Chris said, with all these injuries, we still have a 5-game lead over Seattle in the division coming off of this. So my biggest takeaway is that Houston is inevitable. That is what it is. And yes, I understand we've had to kind of piecemeal everything together with a bunch of dudes that we had no intentions of playing throughout this entire season. But at the same time, just like what you saw in Los Angeles, they came together at the right time. So we've had a few hiccups after that Los Angeles sweep. But other than that, the one thing I got to say is, this is the Astros. They're a good team. They even interviewed Bregman at the All-Star break and said, "Are you surprised that they're, 5 games up and leading their division?" He's like, "No, they're a good team, man. They've got great pitching, and those guys know how to work." So I think that's one of the biggest things that all these guys that do end up leaving the Astros find out about, is that the work ethic on some of these other teams isn't even nearly close to what the Astros have going on. I mean, Boston's notorious for that. I know the Cubs, at least in the last 25, 30 years, short of like a few seasons when they were competing and actually won the World Series, have been known for that as well. So anyway, long story short, I think the Astros overall work hard. There's a huge work ethic here that nobody expects, and we go out and win baseball games. So my biggest takeaway is just that, is that we're inevitable. How about you, PK?
So before I get into it, did y'all hear the whole interview with Bregman?
Didn't somebody ask him if he would be opposed to coming back to Houston?
It wasn't opposed. It was how close were they to signing? How close was he to signing to Houston or some shit?
I didn't hear that part. No.
And that was at the end, and it was some BS answer. Here's the thing. All the stuff that Bregman said is true, right? Like all the stuff, the work ethic, the type of players we have, Jose is the leader in the clubhouse, it's all true. But nothing pissed me off more than hearing Bregman talk about like the Astros and how good we are. And I don't know what it was. Maybe maybe I'm still butthurt by the fact that he's not here. I'm also happy that we have Paredes here. We have him under team control, right? Like, but we talked about that move in the offseason. And I don't want to be a complete hater on Bregman, but I really it just
Do
was
it.
like, man,
Let it flow.
I was
Let
just
it
like, man,
flow.
just shut the hell up, man. Nobody wants to hear you
There
talk
you
about
go.
the Astros. Like, I know that they asked you the question. I know you got to say your shit, but nobody down here cares. No one cares.
Yeah.
You're in Boston.
You had
You're
your
hurt.
chance and you left us.
It's not even about. It's not even about leaving us, right? It really isn't. I mean, it really isn't because Look, I'm happy regardless. If we had Bregman, cool. But we don't. But we also have Paredes, who's got 18 bombs right now at the break. I think 17, 18 bombs at the break. 19.
Yep.
On pace for 38, right? On pace for 38 bombs. So you have him under team control. So that's just my Bregman thing. It's just when I hear Bregman talk now, I'm like, I'm done, bro. I'm done. Go.
It's like your salsa sucks.
Yeah, your
Well, I
salsa
don't know
sucks,
what
man.
his salsa
Can't even
sales
find it on the
are
store
up in Boston, dude.
But
Good.
look, my thing is it's the moves that we make and the moves that we made in the offseason, the guys that we brought in and how much they're contributing. Now, Paredes was an all-star last year, right? We know that he's got the pop. We know we knew he was Deadpool coming in. But no one really foresaw Cam Smith, and I know we're going to have he's not my surprise guy, so I'm not really segueing into that, but like you have Cam Smith. No one foresaw Cam Smith coming into spring and having the spring that he had coming into the season. The dude was like, up until the last series was playing some really good baseball. I mean, he still is, but I mean, like, I think it was 0 for 10, 0 for 11 to go into the break, but it's the moves that we made. That was my biggest thing that they're contributing. And the Cam Smith thing has been huge because can y'all imagine not having a right fielder, like a right fielder? Like we only have a center fielder and you're piecemealing your corners. And the kid Cam, like, not only has he just is learning to play right field every single day, but the dude is holding his own out there. Like he's so athletic that he can get out there and play. He's got these long ass strides where he can cover so much ground. So my big takeaway is the new additions. Now it sucks for Hayden Wesneski. I mean, we has the shoulder or the elbow. It's the arm. We only had him for a few starts. I felt like he was getting a little bit better, but he had lack of run support for the first few starts of the season. And when we were starting to kind of come around with the run support, and then he had that terrible game in Milwaukee where he got shelled, and then the next thing you heard was, TJ. So I'm loving the fact of the guys that we have, what they're contributing. And now let's go. We can see what they're going to do going forward into the second half because we're going to need everybody. We've talked about the injuries, laundry list of them. Payne is on the IL. Myers is on the IL. All the pitching. So we've got a big series coming up. We're going to get into it, but a big series with Seattle coming up. Let's get into the surprising player of the season. Bryles, who do you have as your surprise player of the season?
That's an easy one for me because I clowned on him all last year. I clowned on him the year before, and we've given this dude a hard time, and he was the biggest surprise on the entire team to me. That's Jake Myers. He came out. I think, we expected the defense to be there, but his offense, even we were just like, okay, well, what is he going to do? Because, he had a little bit of promise when he first came up. He had some pop in the bat. He was looking good. We already know he's got the speed, but he didn't put it together until this season to the point where we were talking about him making an all-star game and actually being a part of the all-star team until he got injured. And I think that is the biggest 180 I could have possibly imagined from Jake Myers compared to the last two seasons or season and a half that we've seen him. So I really hope the guy comes around. I hope his injuries get healed up quick because we need him out there.
That's a fact. Yeah. So look, I'm gonna go next because, well, Bryles, I should have gone first. That's why I'm gonna go next. So
because you're going to pick Jake Myers.
Yeah, I had Jake Myers. There's no way. That was just the first thing that popped up. You talked about it. Defense only. That's what we were thinking. Like he's got to have a good offensive season. We don't need the automatic outs, at the bottom of the lineup. The guy comes in and does nothing but hit. And then it's like, look, we're talking about Jake freaking Myers. Right before he got hurt this most recent time, it's like, hell yes, Jake Myers is back in the lineup. It's, party, pop the confetti, everything. That's where we're at. But that's the type of season that this guy's having. He's playing phenomenal center field out there, right? I mean, he's got to be up there for potentially get a Gold Glove in center field. It's got to be. I mean, but he's flying all over the field, and then he's batting 2, 3 in the lineup. You know, like he hitting over 300. I mean, it's Jake freaking Myers. Yeah. So I'm so pumped for him. Happy for him. I mean, I hate that they rushed him back, or maybe it was a player's call. I don't really know what the case was. I don't know if it was, you know, him saying, "Hey, look, I'm good to go," and you know, he made a decision over the medical staff, but he's out. We need him back, but we don't need him back until he's fully ready because we're going to need him for that October push. So my guy is the same as Bryles, Jake the Freak Myers. Just great for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, like when I thought about the question of who was my surprise, I really had it down to 3 guys. And I mean, it was almost 4 because I wanted to almost include Cam Smith, but I mean, Cam Smith, I mean, he's a, you know, top prospect. I mean, so I kind of expected him to come out. I mean, I think he's performed higher than what we kind of expected, seeing that just a couple months ago we talked about wanting to send him back down to Sugarland. But it came down to 3 players. It was Brandon Walter, Jake Myers, and the guy that I'm going to take only because you guys have already covered him, I'm going to go with Jeremy Pena. So Jeremy Pena, you know, he had that fantastic World Series run back in 22, and everybody, and I, myself included, we thought he was going to be this next kid hitting 30, 40 bombs, and you know, his stats for the last 2 years. I mean, he hit 263, 266, right? He has added 60 something points to his batting average. This guy is batting 322, and he is our leadoff hitter. He went from being a 6, 7, sometimes an 8th hitter to now he's our bona fide, legit leadoff hitter. And I mean, he's got the defense. Wild. He shored up his defense. That was the stuff that we kind of like talked about him, is that sometimes he can get either lackadaisical or a little lazy. I haven't seen that yet this season. And he is completely, like, again, the big things that PK and I would just like throw him a slider down and away on 2 strikes. He's taught it. He's maintained himself to not chase that, and that's why he's hitting 322. So a guy who would have played in the All-Star game if he wasn't hurt. I was kind of leaning more towards Jake Myers, but you guys pretty much already covered him, so I went with Jeremy Pena.
Look, man, it wasn't as easy. I mean, it's not as easy just to pick Jake Myers because you're right, Pena. We haven't seen this type of plate discipline from this kid
since the World Series. Since the World Series,
we haven't seen it, you know, and so it's huge. You could do, you know, Myers, you could do Payne, you could still do Smith. I agree, Smith, because we weren't expecting him to do anything, right? I mean, great spring. Okay, you made the big boy squad. Struggle. Okay, now we're calling for your head, you know, but just stay in there, and keep hacking, and look at him now. So Payne is a really good one. I mean, because you're right. That the biggest thing was hitting 6 and 7 for the last couple of years. You know, not consistent at the plate, but he's a cheetah on the base pass. But you move him to the leadoff, and then look, he is our bona fide leadoff guy, right? Because those dribblers that he can beat out, you know, and like, I mean, it's been awesome. I'm so glad that Espada moved him to the top. I'm so happy for Pena too, that he's having this season. And we need him back. we need him back at the top. So okay, so we're about 3/4 of the way through this thing. What was the next? We want to do Circle of Trust, our first Circle of Trust for the season?
Let's do the Circle of Trust. We'll kind of try to keep it kind of quick since we kind of drew this out. So I'll go first. I'm gonna pick 4 guys for my. Really, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I guess 4. If we're gonna keep it at 4.
Well, real quick. Hang on. Why don't you explain to some of the new people that are listening from last year?
So so this was a concept that was kind of, you know, built last year. So essentially, our Circle of Trust is essentially the guys that day in, day out, we're kind of like you've earned your merit. You're invited to the cake party, you know,
for at least this month.
If any, at least, for the month. So essentially, like if you come up in any situation, we have the trust that you're going to do something to contribute. So that's basically basically it. Long story short. So I'll go first. Of course, I'm going to go 2 hitters, 2 pitchers, and I'm going to go Pena and Altuve, and then for pitchers, I'm going to go Fromber and Hunter Brown. Only because we have to keep it at 4.
I like it. Go ahead, Bros. Let me hear what you got.
All right, I'm pretty close to that, honestly. Altuve was the first guy I thought of because just like I've been preaching the whole time, put that man at second base and let him retire there. So that's my number 1. This is really tough because we do have guys on the injured list. So it's like, do I take somebody that's on the IL? I mean, that's kind of tough. So I'm going to say no right now. I'm not going to take anybody on the IL. So my 2 hitters are Altuve and Isaac Paredes. My pitchers, I'm going to agree with Chris on Framber Valdez. And then I'm also going Josh Hader because he's still the baddest man on the planet when it comes to shutting them down.
So, again, I should have gone second. Again, this time I should have gone second. So I have Pena, Paredes, Hader, and Fromber. That's that in that order. In that freaking order. So, I mean, look, dude. Look, Paredes has these at-bats that I wish that most of our lineup or all the lineup would have. The dude, like, because I'm sitting here watching him and he's getting these 2-strike counts. And I remember when I played, and I wasn't very good, right? But when I played, and as soon as I got I know it's shocking. It's really shocking. As soon as I got 2 strikes, I was peeing down my leg because I'm like, I know it. I'm thinking about what pitch is coming, and it's the opposite pitch, yada yada yada. But he's so calm up there with 2 strikes. Like, he doesn't care. He'll go down to 0-2 and then work the count 3-2 and then sit there and foul him off. And so what I appreciate about that obviously is the plate discipline, but then you're stacking pitches to this starting pitcher, right? He's having to work to get you out, which in turn you get to those later innings, and those are extra pitches that he didn't need to throw. So Pena, we talked about it, but Paredes, like, there was no reason for me not to put him on there. Hader, he had his first blown save in the Rangers series, right? Yeah. But prior to that, it was freaking nails, right? I mean, he still is. I have all the faith in the world in him going forward, which for me last year, I was still kind of on signing for $95 million because I'm like, well, I don't know. But this year for me, he's proven the worth. Not that it matters, but it does. And Fromber, look, the guy got snubbed in the All-Star game. Those last 10 stars was 8-0 with a 1.72 ERA, like filthy. We have that front right now. We have that Fromber. We're going to see him this weekend. So those are my 4 guys.
I'm willing to say he is taking back the reins of being our ace. I'm willing to throw that out there.
Based on these last few starts, absolutely. Absolutely.
An honorable mention to Hunter Brown, man. I mean, the dude was absolute nails until his last 2 starts. I mean, he was the best starter in the entire American League until these last 2 starts. And we've talked about it. Yeah. I don't know if he's just tired, if he got hurt. Like I've said, his arm slot didn't look like it was in the right spot. But, hey, look, I'm not a professional. I'll let the coaching staff take care of that and go from there. But honorable mention to Hunter Brown.
Yeah, I think you could probably go 1A, 1B. But Fromber is retaking the reins. So, all right, Christopher, I know you've been waiting for this.
All right, here we go.
23 minutes and 50
I've been waiting for this all day. All right, guys, let me ask you guys a question. So I want you guys to put your GM hats on. Everybody at home listening, put your GM hats on as well. Do you have any players in our system that you would consider untouchable?
Untouchable?
Untouchable. So like the trade deadline.
Like in Sugarland.
Oh, Sugarland, Corpus, Asheville, Fayetteville.
Now that we have Cam Smith up, the answer is no.
Okay. All right. So I was listening to Jim Riley again. He from Ball Cap Sports, and he was like, "I've got 3 blockbuster trades," and I saw the Astros logo, and I'm like, "Oh shit, sign me up. Let's listen to it." So let me go ahead and pull up this graphic that I made. So here is the hypothetical, and again, this is a hypothetical. This isn't. I'm trying to put myself when I look at this trade offer as if this is a trade with Boston, and let's say Boston's like, "Hey, if you want to beat out the Rangers or the Mariners to get this guy, this is the offer that will get it done." And then I'm gonna show this up, and then I want to hear you guys' feedback. I'll leave it up for a minute so you guys can look at it. So the trade would be this hypothetical trade that came up would be the Astros would receive outfielder Jarren Duran, and we would send back Spencer Arrighetti, Jacob Melton, and Ethan Pecco. So as I put up there, Jacob Melton's our number 2 prospect. Ethan Pecco is our number 8 prospect. He's pitching down in Corpus Christi right now. So just before I give you any more information, right, I just want your first knee-jerk reaction, and then I'll pull this hypothetical trade back up. I'll put it back up. So what is your first knee-jerk reaction to that? You say no.
Hell no.
So PK
Hell no.
says no. Browse, what do you say?
Very first thing I thought of is what kind of contract does Jarren Duran have? And I know you said without any information on that, because I'm pretty sure he's got more than a year left. My answer is yes. Well,
okay.
Oh, damn. Yes. I would do it.
Okay.
I would do it.
So knowing what I know and knowing how much I love Jacob Melton, I would pull the trigger on this in about 0.4 of a second. So Jarren Duran still has the rest of this year, and he has 3 more years of team control.
Whoo! I didn't know that.
So again, I mean, this is in a situation where, and let me pull this back up, in a situation where Boston comes up to Houston and they're like, "Hey, this is what we'll get it done. If you balk at this, we're gonna make an offer to Texas and Seattle," which I'm sure some of these GMs do anyway. So
you didn't say that in the question. It's not fair.
I did. I said this.
You didn't say that.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't. No, you did not.
I said, "Hey,"
you said.
I said if Boston came up to you and said, "Hey, this is the package that'll get it done. If not, we're going to take this to Texas and Seattle." That's what I said. It's not my fault you weren't listening.
I don't think
in
so.
My
Tim.
opinion, you know what? We're going to show them. We're going to show this. If anybody that's actually listening to this, comment and say yes, Chris did say it, and you guys get an F for paying attention. So I love me some Jacob Melton, but I would make this trade in a heartbeat. Why? Because of the team control that you have for Jarren Duran. This is a guy that, again, his numbers aren't very sexy, right? He's hitting 258, 8 home runs. He's got a 749 OPS, but he's 16 stolen bases. The big thing that you're going to get from him, like I said, is the 3.5 years of team control. Ethan Pecco right now in Double-A Corpus is 0-6 with a 5.63 ERA. So he's not exactly lighting the world on fire in Double-A. Again, you give up Arrighetti. I feel like we have the depth at start and pitching to make this trade. You still got Christian Javier coming back, and you should still have Garcia coming back. So that trade, to me, it solves many things. We have a legit left fielder now, and then we can put Altuve back to second base. So right now, let's say in 2.5 weeks, we get Jake Myers back. So now our outfield is Duran in left, Myers in center, Cam Smith in right. Altuve back in second. No more need for Guillorme. No more need for Brendan Rodgers. I think we can roll deep with that lineup. I think that's a damn good lineup. Again, it's just a hypothetical. Guys, listening. And look, we got comments. I'm hoping they say Chris was right. There you go. Thank you.
Bryles doesn't really count.
Thank you.
I don't count.
Bryles doesn't count.
We had somebody say he said it. I heard. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. See, y'all need to do a better job.
That's your family member.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny, but all I'm saying is that I put it out there. So my opinion, yes, I make that trade in a heartbeat. We get a real left fielder. Altuve comes back to second. Can you imagine that lineup? You got Payne is back at short. Altuve's at second. Jordan comes back. That lineup's going to be freaking deep. That's a deep lineup.
Bombs from third.
Yeah. I mean, so like that's a lineup where, I mean, your Cam Smith is batting 7th or 8th. So again, it's a hypothetical.
Yeah, Christian Walker is 9. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, that actually could have been a surprise player of the first half too, in the opposite direction.
But not a surprise in a good way. Mm-hmm. So again, that's my that was my hypothetical. I think it's a trade. Like I said, if I'm the GM, I pull the trigger on the trade. I mean, essentially, yes, it hurts to give up Arrighetti, but we're so deep at pitching, and we throw in Ethan Pecco. I mean, that's not one of the guys I'd like to throw in, but if that's what gets it done, it is what it is.
That's a good one.
So
I'm just not a fan of, me. I'm pretty conservative when it comes to these moves. You're always the one that likes the, make these big moves.
Well,
which is
I
cool.
figured this would be one of the ones you would jump in on because I know how much you hate Reynolds, and this is a guy that's got 3.5 years of team control.
Well, I didn't have that information at the time of my decision. You said knee-jerk reaction was no,
Yeah,
and then
knee-jerk.
But with team control.
All right, so
team
now
control,
that I've given you all the information, have you changed your mind?
What is Melton's?
Team control. I mean, he's still considered a prospect, so he won't hit prospect status until he has 130 at bats. So at that point, it's like 4 or 5 years before he becomes a free agent.
I don't know. It's tough.
See, John wants Wilyer Abreu
back from the trade.
That's the guy. Yeah, but that's the guy we traded for Kirsten Vasquez, I believe.
Yeah,
if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah.
He's not having a bad year.
He's mashing.
I promise you, he's a lot cheaper right now than Jarren Duran is, as far as contract wise. But
facts. Yeah.
Again, so final word, PK. Would you change your mind and accept said trade?
No, I would accept it with the 4-year team control.
Okay. See, you got to know how to talk to PK. He's all about that team control.
No, yes, you got to give me the information. A team control because we're not going to pay him. We're not going to pay them, right? So it's not about the rentals because it's a waste. It's not a waste. If you win the championship, it's not a waste. But you gave up prospects for player X for a few months to win a ring, and that's fantastic. I get we're all playing, but then you're killing your farm system to get that ring. So that's what I don't like about it. Just to kill the farm system. So, but with the 4-year team control, yeah, send it. I'm good.
Okay.
All
right, Bronson. Any last bit? You're good. I know you're good. You're ready.
Yeah,
to make that trade right now.
Yeah, I would absolutely make that trade right now. And I'll throw in a quick backup, which I know PK is going to absolutely balk at. Anyway, they've come out and already said that they're selling everybody except for Corbin Carroll in their outfield. But the problem is they're all going to just be rentals, I believe, except for Gurriel, right? Doesn't he have one more year on his contract? But other than that,
I think he only signed a 1-year deal. I mean, I saw something about Astros making a
maybe
move
it was
for
Alec
Zach
Thomas.
Gallen. No, Alec Thomas, because I mean, and again, man. All right, let's save this talk because I could talk about trade shit for like another 45 minutes. So
yeah, so could I.
Let's do a trade. I mean, let's see. Let me look at the next Thursday will be the 24th, and then we'll go live again. PK on the 27th is going to be our trade stuff. Where we're
trade
just gonna
special.
Trade special. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So, I mean, we're already at almost 33 minutes. So, PK, we're starting the Seattle series tomorrow. I have the pitching lineups for the series, and Seattle's being a bunch of lamos. They're all TBD. So, Bryles, take us away.
All right. As Chris has already mentioned, Seattle's got TBD all 3 days, but Friday we got Walter coming in 1-2 with a 3.98 ERA. Saturday, LMJ pitching 2-4 with a 6.48 ERA, looking to whittle that down a little bit. And then Sunday, our friend that is in the circle, Mr. Valdez, 10-2, 2.75 ERA, and the bona fide ace. So, boys, what do you got?
So I'm going to go. All right, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say, I will say this. My wife is excited because I've actually remembered to put the last parentheses at the end of McCullers and Valdez. The last two ones I forgot to put it on. That's the first thing she noticed. She's like, "Oh, you're missing parentheses." I'm like, "Thanks." So those are done.
Noob.
I'm telling you, man. Pulling this back up. Golly, man. Like pitching wise, I know what I'd like to go. I just don't know which lineup are we going to see. Are we going to see a lineup that comes together like we saw in Los Angeles? Or are we going to see, the big stinking pile of poo-poo that we saw the last 2 series before the All-Star break? And then also, too, which version of Lance McCullers are we going to see? Is this going to be a bounce back? Every time that he's gotten shelled, he's bounced back pretty good the next few starts. I'm going to go 2-1 Astros.
Not a baby.
I think the pitching will hold enough. I mean, it's not like, outside of Cal Raleigh, it's not like the rest of this lineup is setting the world on fire. So, I mean, as long as they don't face Logan Gilbert, because for whatever reason, we can't hit that guy to save our lives. So, Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1. Saturday, Sunday wins. That's how I was gonna say the same thing with McCullers. When he has the bad outing, he tends to come back on the next one and has a great one or a good one, right? So I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1 Astros.
No, Browse.
Yeah,
you going for the sweep?
I'm in the same boat. No, I'm not going sweep. It's I think it's going to be 2-1 as well. And the reason I say that is, listen, Brandon Walter deserves a win on Friday, but I'm afraid he's going to come up against Luis Castillo. They're not releasing their lineups yet. The other thing that they've rumored, which is why they're doing TBD, is that Kirby is supposedly going to be coming back to pitch on Sunday. So we'll see how that works out, which leaves maybe your best friend there pitching on Saturdays. So I'm going to be Mr. Positive here with 2-1. And I hate to tell you, but I don't think Walter's going to be able to handle it if Castillo's pitching against him. Here's what I will say is that they are in Seattle. Seattle has an absolutely steaming pile of garbage for offense other than Cal Raleigh. So take the unders all day long. All day long. I don't care. They're 6.5 under every day.
Well, that's it. 2-1. Chris is going to update he's going to update the standings next week when we come back for all of our.
I had him updated for our last one. I don't think we ever got around to it. Pretty sure.
All I know, I was still leading. That's all I know. So that's all these guys.
Well, that's because we keep picking the same damn record, the same damn series. Prediction.
I'm not going to pick.
I'm not going to.
Or either if we don't pick the whole thing, we all lose. So it doesn't matter. Like I can't even catch a break. So
yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, I think it's going to wrap up this week's show. Chris and Bryles are not going to be with us on Sunday. I will be here for you. I'm going to do Han Solo. I'm going to try it. I have not done it yet. It might not be 40 minutes worth of podcasts, but it's going to be some minutes. So
it'll be PK breaks the record for a 4.5 second podcast. Hey guys, welcome to Juice Box. All right, guys, got to go.
I'm your host PK. See y'all on Thursday. But no, I want to thank everyone for tuning in.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, what do I do? I think I call Chris and say, what button do I push? But thank everyone for tuning in, man. Ready to get season base, some Astros baseball. Tomorrow night, first pitch is 9:10 our time. So good thing it's on a weekend, but we got to stack some series wins. Start the second half off with a series win. Let's see what we got, man. Let's go. It's a race to the postseason now. 2 weeks we'll do the trade deadline episode. But until then, I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Bryles. This is the Juice Box Heroes.
Hook 'em.
Oh boy!
They signed a big linebacker this week.
I'm excited to see you do this Han Solo.
I'm kind of